Story 1. Of Gods and Mortals. The stars shone with an ethereal glow beyond the viewport. Captain Scylla of the Galactic Alliance flagship surveyed the velvety dark void pensively. For centuries, her kind, the Anthropic, had reigned supreme as the most advanced species in the known galaxies. But a new discovery was about to change everything. In the furthest reaches of the Cassini Arm, their sensing arrays had detected mysterious activity near a small blue world. Scylla ordered her ship for investigations. What they found shocked them to the core. The third planet from its sun was teeming with life. Great ocean's waves and melodious bird songs whispered of an Eden long hidden from the stars. But it was the inhabitants of this lush sphere that gave Scylla pause. Bipedal and tool-wielding, these strange bipeds scurried across wooden vessels that cut across the wind with magnificent sails folded in intricate patterns. "They call themselves humans," said her science officer Magnus in awe. Scylla watched the primitive humans going about their daily toils, crafting objects of wood and stone with skillful hands. Yet behind those ordinary facades, an inner spark lit their eyes with senses beyond normal. An indomitable spirit of creativity, courage, and collective endeavor burned strong in their souls. As reports from the surface investigation team came in, more shocking discoveries were made. The humans lived in organized communities and passed knowledge across generations. They forged metal, learned mathematics, and discovered secrets of the natural world through diligent investigations. Most astounding of all, their hearts were open vessels of compassion that knew no bounds of tribe or nationality. Slowly, Scylla began to comprehend the truth. Here was a species evolution had quietly, yet profoundly blessed with gifts beyond her comprehending. An amalgam of body and intellect, but most of all, an undefeatable force of unified will. On this insignificant rock circling an inconspicuous star, nature had cultivated the seeds of godhood itself. The Anthropic, for all their galactic imperium, were but children compared to the potentials of these strange new mortals called humans. A paradigm shift was dawning that would change the course of all civilizations. In these unassuming humans, Scylla glimpsed a glimmer of a brilliant future waiting to be uncovered. A low, awestruck whisper escaped her. "By the stars, we are in the presence of gods." Story 2. Our audacity astounds. Deep in the vast void between galactic clusters, an ancient spacecraft drifted silently through the sea of stars. Its hull, once sleek and silver, had been weathered by millennia of space dust and cosmic radiation. Inside sat 4 Bullrathi, the last survivors of a species that had exhausted their homeworld and ventured to find a new one. For cycles without end, they had wandered this way and that, forever searching. But one by one, their numbers dwindled as old age and systems failures took their toll. Now only Crota the Wise remained, piloting the derelict craft while his brethren slept their final sleep in stasis. Crota gazed wearily upon the external cameras, hoping against hope to see some glimmer of a habitable world where his kind might find refuge and replenish their numbers. But all he saw was the infinite emptiness punctuated by fleeting photons from realms untold light years away. His race was doomed, and he could but wait for the end, alone with his immense sorrow. It was then that a blip appeared where no blip should be, a cluster of lights emerging from the darkness, growing larger on Crota's monitors with each hesitant beat of his ancient heart. He magnified the image and beheld a most peculiar sight, a group of craft unlike any in the Bullrathi stellar archives, flying in tight formation. Crota opened a communication channel and hailed the strangers, hopeful that they might provide aid to a dying people. But when reply came in a language as unfamiliar as the ships themselves, despair gripped him once more. How could there be succor here, lost as he was in the abyss between all that was known? It was then that one vessel broke rank and moved rapidly to intercept Crota's drifting hulk. His sensors showed beings within, bipedal like himself, but thicker of bone and more hardy of form. When they signaled again, hopes were raised by tones of friendliness and concern. A docking tunnel was extended. Crota drew the final reserves of strength to his withered limbs and met the strangers face to face. Their leader gazed upon him with eyes that spoke of survival against all odds. "We saw your distress and have come to offer whatever aid you require," said the human named Takara. "My people hail from a world called Earth, and it is our nature to lift up those who have fallen. Where is your home? Perhaps we can guide you there." Crota told of his race's fall and millennia-long wandering. The humans listened with patience and care. "There is room aboard our vessels for your kin," Takara said gently. "We will see to their care and make habitat for your species among the stars once more. Our audacity astounds even ourselves at times, but it has also allowed us to thrive where others have dwindled. Come, a new dawn awaits." As Crota gazed upon Earth's daughters and sons who had crossed the abyss merely to help a dying stranger, a glimmer of hope was rekindled in his ancient heart. Perhaps, he thought, some embers still glowed that could be fanned to flame anew. Story 3. Underestimate Us No More. The stars shone bright as the Galaxy-class starship Trinity pierced through the inky void of space. On the bridge, Captain Amaya stared intently at the main viewer focused on their destination, the fourth planet of the Epsilon Indi system, home to the mighty Indari civilization. For centuries, the Indari had dominated this region of the galaxy through their technological prowess and military might. No species had dared challenge them, until now. Beside Amaya, her first officer Takal broke the silence. "Captain, we are approaching Indari space. Shall I hail them?" Amaya nodded. "Open a channel. Let us see how our erstwhile rulers choose to greet us." Takal's nimble fingers danced across her console. Within moments, an imposing Indari commander appeared on the viewer. "I am Sub-Administrator Krish Harn of the Imperial Fleet. You have entered the sacred realm of the Indari people. State your business or be destroyed." Amaya stepped forward confidently. "I am Captain Amaya of the United Earth Alliance Starship Trinity. We come in peace, seeking an enlightened exchange between our peoples." Krisharn glared at her, his voice laced with contempt. "Humans? Your primitive species is not worth our notice. Begone from here at once before we are forced to remind you of the true power that separates your kind from ours." Amaya remained calm. "We mean you no harm, Sub-Administrator, but we will not be threatened or deterred from opening a dialogue. Your empire may be mighty, but do not make the mistake of thinking us weak." Krisharn's eyes narrowed to slits. "You dare lecture me, woman. So be it. If it is a demonstration of power you want, you shall have it. Prepare to witness the full might of the Indari war fleet." The screen went dark as the communication terminated. Amaya turned to Takal. "Raise shields, arm phasers and photons. Helm, lay in an intercept course for the approaching Indari ships." A glint appeared in her eye. "It seems we'll get our introduction after all. Engage." As the mighty warships of the Indari closed in for the kill, the crew of the Trinity stood ready to fight against impossible odds to prove to the galaxy that humanity and the Alliance would no longer be dismissed or relegated to the sidelines of history. This day, the Indari would learn that underestimating humanity was a fatal mistake.